You're listening to the Business and Life Podcast, where 7 days a week, proven entrepreneurs share their success stories, failures, and give you true value on how you can build a great business and an awesome life. With your host, Mike Olivas.
Hey guys, I'm usually coming in hot, but today I think I need to come in real. My 13-year-old national group travel company was pretty much close to shutting down. I've somehow turned a negative into a positive, but it took about a week straight worth of strategy since all this has gone down. My team and I put together an 11-series best of episode, which I call Coping with COVID in Business and Life. Business owners and employees are going through dire times right now. They're losing their jobs and shutting down their business. I know it firsthand because I recently had to let go of the majority of my employees. A 13-year-old company broken down in a matter of days. I'll rebuild it and I'll make it better and I'll make it stronger. And I want to make all of you just as optimistic as I am. So in a world of nothing but negative news and drama right now, and being forced to do nothing but take in all of this terrible content on the news, my team and I focused all of our attention to bring you the stories of how others have overcome rock bottom, to show you that with great obstacles and challenges come great opportunities. This special series is the collection of the answers of my guest of one of the most powerful questions that I ask day in and day out, 7 days per week on my show. That question is simple. Give me a time where you've hit rock bottom and were able to overcome that disaster. Listen to these stories. Realize that it's a part of the journey and understand that you are not alone. And rolling up your sleeves is nothing new to you. Listen, learn, and get to work. You got this, Life Nation. Now go get it done.
I had an auto accessories business. Then I bought a health and fitness center. We had 4,000 members. Things were trucking along. Well, all of a sudden, the banking relationships that I had changed. The bank that I had just these open-ended lines of credit, handshake agreements, changed ownership 3 times in 2 years.
Oh, man.
And all of a sudden, these guys in dark suits are looking at this kid. They had these open lines of credit, and they said, what's up with this? And they really put the screws on me, put me in a really untenable position. I thought, well, what the heck? I'll sell this business, just get out of it with my shirt on my back. I don't care. I'll go on to something else. Well, unfortunately, I did sell that at public auction. The next morning, I woke up and realized I was about $450,000 in debt.
Wow. Jeez.
A chunk of that to the IRS, which is really unpleasant.
Yeah.
But the other 2 vendors, these are people that I knew. And so in as much as I had the advice, just file bankruptcy and blah, blah, blah. No, I said, I can't do that. I was raised where your word is your bond. Your word means something. I can't do that. So again, true entrepreneur fashion, I thought, well, I'll knock this out in a couple of years. I'll just go on my way. Well, it wasn't that easy. The compounding of the effect of being that much in debt grew and grew and grew. It took me a lot longer than I anticipated to get out. But the irony is, it's in that time that I discovered all these cool things that I'm doing today. And I often look back and I think, I don't think I would have been smart enough to figure all this out if that had continued to be successful. I'd have bigger buildings, more employees, the kind of things that I absolutely hate as a free-range entrepreneur, but I would have continued pushing down that path because that's the only business model I knew. But in that period of time, I discovered the things that I'm doing today. But here's something that'll be encouraging to your young entrepreneurs listening.
Yeah.
So I worked my way out of that. It took me 12 years, not 2. I remember the day I walked into my office and the fax machine, back when we had fax machines, peeled off 14 pages of IRS lien releases. Oh my gosh, I'm a free man. 14 pages of IRS lien releases. I was back to 0 net worth. I was thrilled. I was so happy to be back to 0 net worth. You know how old I was? 53 years old.
Yeah.
So everything I've done that people know about me has happened since then. So I now do have, New York Times best-selling books and a really thriving, robust business and connected with a team that works for me. As you say, people all around the world where there's really great talent. They work for me. So I've got a totally different kind of business at this point. And I'm thrilled that it's one of those things where I don't think I could be where I am without going through that really tough spot.
Yeah, I've been rock bottom so many times, and I might be rock bottom again in the future, but probably the biggest rock bottom experience was 2007. That's when I almost went out of business. My business was doing poorly at that point. I hadn't paid myself in 4 years. That's how bad the business was doing. And then we hired a new account manager, and he lost all of our clients. We had 3 clients left. We were 1 month away from going under. And I didn't know what to do. And that's when I started talking to anybody and everybody trying to get help. And that's when I reached out to a friend who was in the PR industry and said, what can I do here? And she introduced me to a Forbes editor. And then the rest is history. After that, I started writing for Forbes, and that started bringing attention to my agency. And that saved us. We wouldn't be around today. So she's my best friend.
Hey guys, Michael Levis here. I've cut my coaching rates nearly in half, and I've added some time to my daily calendar to help you, our listeners, with your business in this time of need. If you were let go, or if you finally feel like in the midst of all this, you've been motivated to finally start your own company, let's talk about my affordable startup advising package that will give you from idea to revenues fast. If you are trying to simply keep your company alive after this terrible epidemic, I will give you some great valuable tactics on how I did it, on how to not just let employees go or shut down shop. Let me help you keep your businesses alive and thriving. I can't help everyone, but you won't know if I can help you or not until you schedule a quick 20-minute call at michaellevis.com/coaching.
The business is just over 5 years now old, but I started it because I actually got laid off from my last job 5 years ago. And, I had 3 kids at home with one on the way, wife at home. I'm the breadwinner. And when I was brought into the HR office and being let go, that was one of the most crushing things that you could do to the provider to all of a sudden say, by the way, you got to figure things out. And so the whole beginning of the company was, hey, I have skills around LinkedIn ads because for the last 2.5 years, I've run the world's largest ads account in the world. So I know that I can do something here. I know I've got the skill set, but boy, is there a market for it? Can I actually support my family off of this tiny little niche? And LinkedIn ads are certainly heating up now, but 5 years ago that wasn't the case. And so month 1 was a lot of well, I don't know how to sell, but I do know how to market. I know how to create content. So it was trying to partner with anyone I could, going to networking events, looking for gigs on Upwork, things like that where I could just get involved and start building things. I did what I called my fake it till you make it tour in month 3, which is super scary when you've got no income coming in and your family's relying on you to book a trip, to buy a suit, to do all these things is really scary. But I had relationships at LinkedIn, and I knew people in San Francisco that I knew would be a great fit. And so I scheduled a trip out there and then started messaging my friends saying, hey, I'm going to be in town. Do you want to grab a bite or something? And that turned out to be some of the best advice I got from a friend. Plan a trip out there specifically to go meet with these people.
In my PR business, we're really fortunate. We've had a lot year over year growth. And even when the economy kind of tanked in 2007, 2008, we were really able to kind of survive that time. I think convincing clients that in order for them to stay ahead of the competition during that challenging time, they probably should keep their brand relevant, top of mind with their consumers. So PR probably wasn't the thing they'd want us to skimp on. So the agency side's been great. I've had challenges with team members, not too often, but one that most recently I kind of was informed that she was acting in a way that really surprised me. And it was kind of almost like she was claiming that all of our clients were her clients and then exaggerating the work that she did on behalf of the clients, to the point where if the client saw that, we would have been in a significant amount of trouble. So when I confronted that person, I gave them an opportunity to explain, and I just wanted to really understand what her position was, and the reaction wasn't great. It wasn't taking responsibility. It wasn't having an open dialogue. It was defensive and almost turning it around as if I was mistaken. And it was a significant role in my company. That's been a challenge to fill, but I had to take decisive action and realize that our core value, one of my personal and my business core value, is integrity. And this person absolutely acted out of integrity. And there was no question that they couldn't remain in the company, because that would have been completely not aligned with our overall core value of integrity to keep somebody in that behaves in that way. So we had to kind of get them out, which was really challenging. And but I take full ownership and told all the clients very candidly that we were bringing somebody new in and to kind of bear with us while we had a little bit of choppy waters trying to fill the role. And everybody was very understanding, but it's challenging. I mean, we're really focused on building an incredible team. Everyone else here is an A player and is totally in integrity all the time. And that was hard.
I remember one day I was hanging out with some friends in Santa Monica, and I got this text message from this guy that I had been doing a real estate deal with, and he was working for this company in San Diego, and I invested about $350,000 with this company, and he's like, I need to call you. And so I got on the phone with him, and he says, oh, the lead investor, the guy that I had referred you to, he's in jail in New York City right now for fraud. And I was like, oh, wow. Yeah. Right. And I mean, that's a pretty good chunk of money. I'm like, and I asked him for the details. He said, I don't have all the details, but just letting you know. And so I thought, okay, well,
just FYI, the dude that we have all our money's in jail.
Exactly. He's like, sorry, I didn't realize, I was like, okay, well, we don't, just give me the information that you have.
Yeah.
And I remember, thinking in my head at that point, I was like, well, you know what, if it's gone, it's gone. Like, a lesson learned here. And, not that I can just afford to lose $350,000, but I remember, thinking that. And then I had my friends that were with me. They're like, hey, do you need to go home? Do you need to go take care of this? I'm like, there's nothing I can do, whatever it is. So let's just carry on and let's just have a good time. And I just had a good time and didn't pay much attention. Obviously I dealt with the issue and whatnot, but that was one of those moments. And that's also like one of the things that I talk about where Stoic philosophy and having the mindset can really help you, because I honestly was able to just carry on with my day, because I'm like, whatever happens in life. And it's like, I'm just going to accept whatever happens. Now, I'm not going to be stupid, obviously, and just say, oh, it doesn't matter. Right. Obviously I went after when I had the time to get the information and research it and figured out what was going on.
Life Nation, you got to remember that in order for things to change, you must change. And in order for things to get better, you must get better. You just got better by hanging out with me, Michael Libas, and the Business and Life Nation. So come back tomorrow, because I'm here dropping sound bombs 7 days a week, baby. If you'd like to subscribe, please do, so you can take action and execute. See you tomorrow.